Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint National Championships, brought to you from Sydney International Regatta Centre in Penrith, New South Wales. And my name's Lizzie Chapman and I'm joined here in the commentary box this morning by Scott Cunningham. Let us begin today by acknowledging the Darug people, the traditional custodians of the land and the waterways on which we gather. We recognise the enduring cultural and spiritual connection of the Darug people with the Western Sydney Lakes, particularly the Mulgoa clan, and we pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We extend those respects to all Aboriginal, First Nations and Torres Strait Islanders here today. So it is Thursday, the 13th of March. We started the championships yesterday with a full programme of paddling, and it was pretty exciting. And we've got another packed programme today, although a fairly big gap in the middle for those joining on the live stream whilst we do something else here at the venue.
Thanks, Lizzie. It was a fantastic day. It was a rocker of a day yesterday, and finished off with a couple of fantastic races with our Olympians in the mix with K2s, with some of our younger paddlers. Yeah, really enjoyed it, loved it, frothed on it. But look, let's have a little hold while we're waiting for a start of our first final of the day, women's K1 500 21s.
So, so we're starting off with K1s, and with the 500 metres, a straight final for our first race. In lane 2, representing Bayswater, we have Sarah Major. In lane 3, from Manly Warringah, Chelsea Sutton. In lane 4, from Bayswater, Samantha Lurie. In lane 5, from Wynnum Redlands, Jasmine Lane. In lane 6, from Queensland, Emerson Hardy. In lane 7, from Bayswater, Jen Stanley. And in lane 8, from the Sunshine Coast, Lani Steele.
So a key selection race, this one, Lizzie, for the under 21 women, looking for Asia Pacific spots. So the ladies are going to be hot to trot. They're going to be ready to race, bringing their best paddle down the course. And it looks like the middle lanes and to this side. So to me it looks like Emerson Hardy from Queensland is leading them out, but being challenged in lane 7 by Jen Stanley from Bayswater. And then on this far side, Lani Steele from Sunshine Coast. And as they come through the 200 metre mark, Samantha Lurie from Bayswater is moving up into contention. She's looking at bringing it home in the last 100 metres, but still in front, Jen Stanley, another Bayswater paddler, 3 strong Bayswater WA paddlers in this race.
Great to see them over here from WA.
Yeah, looking good. And Samantha Lurie coming over the top in the last 50 metres. Samantha Lurie looking strong and neat and clean, really letting that boat run. Samantha Lurie for mine going to take out first place in this women's K1 500 metre 21 and under. Samantha Lurie to Emerson Hardy and then Jen Stanley from Bayswater. Chelsea Sutton just coming over the line now, and a very close finish for Sarah Major from Bayswater over the top of Lani Steele from Sunshine Coast.
Great performance there from Samantha Lurie. I think she won the Open B final yesterday in this K1 500. So great to see her take out that win there in the K1 500 21 and under. Second across the line, Emerson Hardy, who was second in the Open B final yesterday. So the two of them still showing great form as we move into day 2 of this regatta. And as you said, the selection race for the Asia Pacific Cup team, looking strong. Our second race, which is number 84 on the overall programme, is a semi-final. It's the semi-final of the men's K1 500 metre, again the 21 and under age category. It's a semi-final, so the first 3 will progress through to the final and the remainder will be eliminated. In lane 1, we have Alex Woodhouse from Sunshine Coast. In lane 2, Riaz Diaz from Manly Warringah. In lane 3, Aidan Han from Fairfield, who's coached by Alex Boyd. In lane 4, Aidan Carberry from Westlake, South Australia, coached by Luke Hannaford. In lane 5, Michael Dunbar from Manly Warringah, who's coached by Scott Dunbar. In lane 6, Max Humphries from South Australia, coached by Luke Hannaford. In lane 7, from Sydney Northern Beaches, Charles Heaton Armstrong. And in lane 8, also from Sydney Northern Beaches, Alexander Raikkonen, and they're both coached by Jake Michael. And in lane 9, from Swan, Maynard Gray.
The boys are still a minute or two away from getting into the start gates. Just taking their time, getting ready for this race. It's an important race. Lizzie, only 3 going through to the final, so they've already taken 6 through. They've got another 3 to squeeze in. And it's going to be a hot field. You know, the middle lanes, I think, will take it. You know, Aidan Carberry, Mickey Dunbar, Max Humphries. So a couple of boys from SA, one from New South Wales, looking to make their way into the final.
Yeah, I was looking at the open category yesterday, and some of these were in the B final yesterday. I think Charles Heaton Armstrong, he looked pretty strong, and he came 3rd in the open B final yesterday. Alexander Raikkonen, he won his heat in this event yesterday, so performing strongly. And Michael Dunbar was in that B final yesterday too, so good seeing the younger fellas stepping up into the open category and performing strongly. Oh, and Max Humphries as well, he was in the B final. Well, this morning we've got beautiful conditions, haven't we? And they're often making the most of the flat water early in the day.
Yeah, good clean start in this men's K1 500 metre 21 and under semi-final. First 3 going through. Looking to make the best of it in the early stages is Mickey Dunbar. He's had a good start. He wants this one. He's hungry. Wants to make this under 21 team. So he's going to push very, very hard. But by no means is he being left on his own. On his outside, Max Humphries from SA looking very, very good. And we've seen a few smokies from this inside lane, from the outside lane here on lane 7s, 8 and 9. And Maynard Gray is certainly one of those from WA. Another WA paddler from Swan looking very good as they come up to the 200 metre mark. Charles Heaton Armstrong, lane 7, looking very, very good. But over in lane 5, Michael Dunbar. Mickey Dunbar with the green hat really wants this. He's starting to rate the house down. He's lifting for the last 100 metres, looking very good. Mickey Dunbar over Charles Heaton Armstrong at the moment. Mickey Dunbar fighting it, starting to tie up. Aidan Carberry coming at him on his left-hand side. Aidan Carberry, Mickey Dunbar. And over in the far side, Alex Woodhouse from the Sunshine Coast. Had a great day yesterday, finishes strong. But it's Mickey Dunbar over the line from Aidan Carberry, and then back to Alex Woodhouse for mine going through to the final.
What a surprise. Looks as though Charles Heaton Armstrong didn't make it through to that final then, but a great performance from Michael Dunbar and a great race with Aidan Carberry and, as you said, Alex Woodhouse taking out the 3rd of those final qualifying positions, going through to final A.
Yeah, Woodhouse's coach, Charlene from Sunshine Coast, was talking him up yesterday. Certainly has liked what she's seen and has been developing very well over the last couple of seasons. So I think he's shown that.
Oh, Scott, so we're now moving on to the men's 18 and under K1, still racing over 500 metres, and we have 5 heats of this event. So that means the first 5 will progress through to a semi-final, and they will take the second next with the best times. So it's really important in all 5 of these heats that these paddlers do their very best to get their best possible times, because not just positions but times will also make a difference. So in the first of these 5 heats, race number 85, we have Geelong's paddler Thomas Russell in lane 1. He's coached by Sean McGee. In lane 2, Tobias Sexton of Bendigo. He's coached by Tony Misson. In lane 3, Bradley Busink of Fairfield. He's coached by Wen Tan. In lane 4, Christian Ireland of Mackay. In lane 5, Byron Dykeman from Sunshine Coast. And in lane 6, Jack Whitford of Sunshine Coast, coached by Charlene Kelly. In lane 7, Jacob Mako from Manly Warringah, coached by Scott Dunbar. And in lane 8, Lachlan Bean from Ascot, coached by Ramon Anderson. So that's WA.
And they've all got away cleanly. Very important racing again. These early races are all key selection races, making sure that paddlers can get through to the Junior Worlds team for the under-18s or to the Asia Pacific under-18 team. So lots of pressure, lots on the line for all these young lads. So I look forward to seeing how we go with 5 heats. Impressive amount of under-18 paddlers, a lot of depth and a lot of good quality. We're
I was going to say we have very good paddlers here in Australia, don't we? And that means that the standard of competition at national championships is going to be very high, and nobody's going to be resting on any laurels.
No, there's a reason that we're noted overseas for being some of the best paddlers, and that's because of our strong pathways and the way that our juniors are developed and taken through. But by the looks of it, for me, we have Dykeman in lane 5. Dykeman in lane 5 from Ireland in Mackay in that familiar orange cap in lane 4 in second spot. So Dykeman looking very comfortable, performed exceptionally well at GP2, is bringing that form through to nationals. I can see that. It's Dykeman over Ireland, both looking very comfortable, and on the far side from Geelong, also paddled well yesterday, looked very good, is Russell from Geelong. So Dykeman, Ireland and Russell, top 3 place getters. And the next 3 are fighting it out. Ooh. Lane 7, Manly Warringah, Jacob Mako looking very good. Over to Busnik from Fairfield, and then a couple of others coming over the line. Lane 8, Lachlan Bean, and then lane 2, Tobias Sexton.
So coming on to the start now, the second of our 5 heats of the men's 18 and under K1 500. In lane 1 we'll have Orland Rettig from West Lakes, South Australia. In lane 2, Hudson Ash from Sunshine Coast, Queensland. In lane 3, Zen Salisbury from Bayswater. In lane 4, Julian Glue from Avoca. In lane 5, Aidan Hall from West Lakes. In lane 6, Tom Messenger, representing Queensland. In lane 7, Lachlan Lyons from Onkaparinga, coached by Rhys Bacchus. And in lane 8, Caelan Montgomery, also from Avoca.
This will be an interesting race, Lizzie. Zen Salisbury was a real surprise packet yesterday. Had some speed out of the blocks. Very, very fast, over 200 metres. Let's see if he's got a 500 in him. Aidan Hall from West Lakes is a solid paddler and will have the distance in him. So I'm expecting to see Zen and Aidan fight it out. But will be challenged by Julian Glue, the glue stick. He's a tough paddler. He will fight it all the way. And Tom Messenger, a talent. He's a bottom age, trains by himself, but is a real talent. So we'll see how he goes. Let's not leave out a couple of others though. Kaylin Montgomery, I've just noticed in lane 8, has really performed exceptionally well this last season, and is an up and comer, another bottom age. So I expect to see him go well. Big, strong lad, and Lockie Lyons from Onkaparinga in South Australia, another big, strong boy. So let's see if they've got what it takes. And a great start from Julian Glue and Aidan Hall. So Glue and Hall got out quick. Salisbury, maybe we'll catch them at the 50 metre mark. He's quick over the 200. So I think he's already made his move. He's looking very good in the early stages. So it's Zen Salisbury in lane 3 over Aidan Hall and then Julian Glue. As they make their way up to the 200 metre mark, it's Montgomery on the outside. Montgomery has really put the big strokes in between the sort of the 350 and the 200 metre mark, and he's starting to wind up, and he's got the legs in him. I think he can absolutely last the distance, and he's just fractionally being led by Aidan Hall from South Australia. And on the far side, it looks like Ash Hudson from Sunshine Coast, another one from Charlene Kelly. So on this outside, Kaylin Montgomery is being slightly headed by Aidan Hall from West Lakes, and then Zen Salisbury from Bayswater. Hall looks pretty comfortable. Hall looks very comfortable and very smooth. He's going to take it out, and he's going to take it out comfortably. Now the rest of the crew, they're all starting to just find their place now, but I think Montgomery for second, lane 6 Messenger for third, over to Salisbury, then Glue. Coming across the line now is Hudson Ash, and then Lockie Lyons from South Australia. Well done, boys. Good race.
Yeah, very good race, and a bit more clean cut than the previous one. So we're looking for 5 people, the first 5 paddlers to go directly through to the semi-final, and then we'll be waiting until the end of all of the heats to find out who this next 2 fastest are, to take them through as well. So first 5 there look like Aidan Hall in first position, Kaylin Montgomery second, Tom Messenger third, Zen Salisbury fourth, and Julian Glue fifth, and the rest will have to wait and see. Heat 3 of our men's under 18 and under K1 500 metre race has in lane 2 Blake Monaghan from Bayswater. In lane 3 Walter Nichols from Sunshine Coast, again from the stable of Charlene Kelly. In lane 4 Marte Eels from Manly Warringah, coached by Scott Dunbar. In lane 5, Flynn Whelan from Holdfast Bay, South Australia, coached by Luke Hannigan. In lane 6, Joel Newton from Manly Warringah. In lane 7, Lachlan Dickinson from Sydney Northern Beaches. And in lane 8, Riley Heitbron from Wynnum Redlands.
So you saw a few of these races yesterday, Lizzie. Who are you tipping? Who are you going to put the commentator's curse on?
Yes, I heard you guys saying that yesterday. I must admit that I was just blown away by how many of the under 12s that I commented on a few years ago are now coming through into these age groups, and how lovely it is to see. I always get a real feeling of warmth when I commentate on canoe sprint, because it's such a family sport, and I think I'm a rowing tragic, but you have real tragics in paddling, don't you?
Yeah,
people who've been around for years.
Yeah,
it's
number
lovely.
one tragic
Great community.
sitting on your right.
It's really lovely.
And I missed this young lad yesterday, Flynn Whelan. I didn't call him for a win, and I should have. He is absolute superstar who has made his mark this season.
Right.
Performed exceptionally well at GP2, so would like to see that form come through again for this race, and he'll have a good opportunity just to practice his race plan.
That's right. Every time you get a chance to come on a buoyed course like this, at a venue like this, it's an opportunity to shine.
And he has had the best of the start. Flynn Whelan, good start. Not to be outdone though by on the outside from Wynnum Redlands, Riley Hilbron, looking very good as well in the early days. I do expect Marte Els to come through from Manly Warringah. Marte's also been performing strongly this weekend, so should see some good running from him. But let's have a look as they come down sort of to the 350 metre mark. Joel Newton for me. Joel looks very, very good. Probably being slightly headed by Riley Hilbron. Let's have a look as they get through to the 200 metre mark. This will give us a little better angle and have a look. It is Flynn Whelan. Flynn Whelan, a good boat length ahead of Marte Els, and then back to Riley Hilbron. So Flynn looks like he's got this comfortably, just running the boat through, stroke rate around 90-95, so not looking like he's having to work too hard, just doing what he has to, make the boat run, let the boat do the work for you. But hot on his heels, who has got the rating up a little more, is Marte Els, looking very strong, looking good for a bottom age 18, looking very, very good. So it's going to be Whelan and Els 1 and 2. Whelan's just switched off now. He's switched off and just letting that boat run. Els in second spot. Whelan across the line to Els. Third spot is Nichols. Looks like Nichols very close on the inside with Riley Hilbron, and in lane 6 Joel Newton.
That certainly looked like the first 5 across the line to me. Definitely a win for Flynn Whelan of Holdfast Bay, who looks like he's going to have a sterile nationals. Let's hope he hasn't peaked too early. Second, Marte Eels from Manly Warringah. Third, Walter Nichols from Sunshine Coast. Looked like then Riley Hilbron from Wynnum Redlands in 4th, and Joel Newton from Manly Warringah in 5th. And the other two will just have to wait and see. And we'll move on then to the lineup for heat number 4 of these 5 heats of the men's 18 and under K1 over 500 metres. In lane 2, representing Mercantile, Jesse Russell, coached by Carl Russell. In lane 3, from Manly Warringah, Archer Thornthwaite. In lane 4, from Canning River, Connor Jacob, coached by Michael Booth. In lane 5, from Avoca, Jerome Drobot. In lane 6, from Hunter Valley, Thomas Hall. In lane 7, from Sunshine Coast, Bill McGuinn, coached by Charlene Kelly. And in lane 8, from Cobram Baruga, Hunter Iskoff.
Good to see at Cockle Creek Cobra here racing again from the Hunter Valley, made their way down from Newcastle. The Cockle Creek Cobras have been around a long time. They haven't been here racing for that long, only a couple of years. So they're just making their way, and Tommy Hall is one of their best paddlers. So expect to see him perform strongly. He's built extremely well. He's a big lad, big muscles, who is very strong in the surf. Exceptional surf paddler. So let's see what he's got. But he is going to have to work very hard. He's got two people on his left-hand side. Connor Jacob performed very well at GP2. Great paddler from Canning River. And Jerome Drobot from Avoca, brother of Natalia. Sorry, Jerome, you're still brother of Natalia at this point in time. Looking forward to seeing them both race. So we've had a good start again. No false starts this morning, which is good to see. Must be the heat, so people are comfortable and not quite as nervous as they get in the semis and the finals. But I think it's Jerome Drobot. Drobot looks like he's taken the lead, probably by about half a boat length at this stage. Comfortably got the race in his control. So we'll get a better look as they come up to this 200 metre mark, but it's Drobot by about a boat length over Tommy Hall from the Cobras. Tommy Hall looking very good. We gave him a big hype up before the race, so he's not proving us wrong, which is good. I enjoy that. Well done, Tommy, but he's working for it. He's not going easy, so to me, Drobot looks comfortable. Running the boat nicely. Tommy Hall's probably just switching off a little bit now as well. He's feeling quite comfortable. He's going to get in that top five. And you've got Archer Thornthwaite over in lane 3, coming through nicely for a third spot, and Jesse Russell in lane 2, looking like he's in fourth, being challenged by Canning River Connor Jacob. But he switches off over the line. Jerome Drobot, second spot. Cockle Creek Cobra from the Hunter Valley. Thomas Hall over to Archer Thornthwaite for third spot.
So well done to Hunter Iskoff coming across the line there to complete our lineup from Heat 4, where the winner was Jerome Drobot from Avoca, second Thomas Hall, third Archer Thornthwaite, and we'll find out the remainder when we get the official results. And for those of you joining us who aren't familiar with paddle, there's a spot weigh-in now of boats before the results become official. Race 89 on our programme is our fifth and final heat of the men's 18 and under K1 500. In lane 2, Currumbin Creek, Ryder Veering. In lane 3, from Fairfield, Mikhail Basak, coached by Wen Tan. In lane 4, from Sydney Northern Beaches, Willem Riddington. In lane 5, from Mercantile, Charlie Cornwell. In lane 6, from WA, Finley Caruana. And in lane 8, from Currumbin Creek, Anderson Flick. So a reminder, the first 5 progress through to the final, so we only have to drop one. And if it's a fast heat, they may well get
fighting it out, aren't we, Lizzie,
Yeah.
for that last spot? Unless one of them is a 6th fastest as well.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
everyone might go through in this heat. We'll
Everything to go
see
for.
what happens.
Yeah.
There'll be some speedsters. Charlie Cornwall from Mercantile, one of the top 3 paddlers,
Right.
in this age group. On any given day, might win it, might get 3rd. He's right up there. Caruana looked good yesterday from WA. I was impressed with what he was delivering. But Reddington has some pedigree. The great surf name of Reddington, and Willem is certainly making his own name in kayaking and surf, so expect him to perform quite nicely. And they're racing in the MK1 500, 18 and under. Good start in the middle lane from Cornwall, looking very, very strong. And also Caruana in lane 6 had another speedy start, another speedy WA paddler, looking very, very strong. Definitely those middle lanes are taking it to the rest of the field, but again on this outside it gets us every time, Lizzie. The outside lane performs exceptionally well. Currumbin Creek, Anderson Flick, I like what he's delivering at the moment. All the boys looking very comfortable, not overrating, letting that boat run, not working too hard, conserving a bit of energy for the final. But it's that middle lane, the middle lane of Charlie Cornwall looking fantastic. Sydney Northern Beaches, Riddington on his outside also looking good. And Caruana on this side, flying through the race. Charlie Cornwall, ripping and gripping, letting that boat run, doing a fantastic job. Charlie Cornwall got this under control. Riddington on his outside also looking very equally strong and making that boat run beautifully. Cornwall coming across the line in first place. Riddington in second place. On the outside it's going to be a fight between Caruana and Bassack from Fairfield, Ryder from Currumbin Creek. And then in lane 8, started well, didn't finish quite as strong as Flick, and then over to Fairfield's Mikhail Bassack.
So that was our final heat in the men's under 18 and under K1 500. And just recapping then, it was a win for Charlie Cornwell of Mercantile, then William Riddington of Sydney Northern Beaches, 3rd Ryder Veering from Currumbin Creek, 4th Finley Caruana of WA, we think, just over Anderson Flick of Currumbin Creek, and finally Willem Riddington from Sydney, Mikhail Bassack from Fairfield.
Make no mistake, Lizzie, what we call is official. No, it's not. We'll leave that up to the judges.
Not official at all, yeah.
Definitely not official. Well, we think it's official.
I was going to say it's close enough in rowing, which is my sport, but in paddle it's just so close, so You definitely need that footage revisited, don't you, to make absolutely sure.
Yeah, you can't use us as part of your protest. If we make a wrong call,
Absolutely
sorry, it's not going to stick.
Does that ever happen?
I'd have no doubt that it would. I would use it if I had to. You know what coaches are like? They'll use whatever they need to get their paddlers
Well,
through.
there we go. Now we're sitting here in the beautiful Sydney International Regatta Centre on the Western Sydney Lakes complex, and it looks as though there is rain sweeping in from the far end of the course. Our next event is the women's 16 and under K1 500, and we have 4 heats in this event. So the first 6 will progress through to the semi-final, and then they will take the next 3 7th fastest. So in Heat 1 of the women's 16 and under K1 500, we have Sky Todd in Lane 1 representing Mackay, and she's coached by Tony Ireland. In Lane 2 we have Kiara Quigley from Currumbin Creek. In Lane 3, Hugh Wen Chan from Fairfield. In Lane 4, Ashley Pegram from Avoca. In Lane 5, Bronte Kipax from Avoca, coached by Jared Waite. In Lane 6, also from Fairfield, Abby Osborne, coached by Wen Tan. In Lane 7, Hannah Truscott from Winnan Redlands. And in Lane 8, all the way from WA, Camilla Barbie, representing Swan.
So I'm a little bit biased here, Lizzie, but love the work from Kipax. She's one of the better under 16s. So she'll go 1 or 2. And I'm backing her for 1. But you just never know. That she'll be comfortable through in this this heat, and as too from Pegram. So both of those girls have come down from sort of mid-north coast way. So they come from a fair way, come down and race. Been racing for a couple of seasons now, and performing very well under coach Jared Waite. Yeah, I expect Pegram, who's really developed and matured in the last 12 months, to perform very strongly, as well as Kipax.
Now, is Ashley Pegram one of a set of twins? I heard their names yesterday.
Pegram and Pegram, yeah, Ash and Ella.
Right.
So yeah, a couple of twins.
Did a double yesterday, did they?
They did. They do the
Yep.
K2 and perform very well.
Right.
As you'd expect,
Good.
wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but you're not sure, are you? But there's certainly, as I said before, strong ties in families here, thinking of the Van der Westhuizens, for example.
Yes, yes. There is a third
Maybe
brother there too, apparently.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I don't know if he paddles. But let's concentrate on this race now. So Kipax looks very strong from the start, and is dominating this race. I'm going to give her half a boat length over the outside from Barbie from Swan. Another WA contingent, strong contingent from WA this year, looking very good. I've always been strong, always been a well-honed and well-coached state, led by Ramon Anderson.
Yes, of
and
course.
many good coaches that he's developed over the years.
Yes.
So also looking good, but it's Kipax by a couple of boat lengths now. Kipax looking very, very strong, running the boat nicely, lots of power, with Pegram on her left-hand side also looking strong. So Pegram in second, Osborne in third, and then outside to Barbie in fourth. The first 6 are going to be interesting to see what happens. I think the girls are all looking pretty comfortable. It's going to be a race for between 5th and 6th, because right now Kipax is looking comfortable. She's down at a 85 stroke rate, not working too hard at all. This is a training run for her. Looking good, learning how to run the boat. It looks like a new boat for her. It looks very nice too. Kipax in lane 5, comfortably over the line. From her teammate Pegram, Ashley Pegram in second spot in lane 4. Over to lane 6, Abby Osborne from Fairfield, to Barbie in lane 8, and then back over to Fairfield, Chan in lane 3, and then lane 7, Hannah Truscott from Winnan Redlands. Coming over the line now, Sky Todd from Mackay, and Quigley from Currumbin Creek.
So certainly the first 6, Bronte Kippax from Avoca, Ashley Pegram from Avoca, Abby Osborne from Fairfield, Camilla Barbie from Swan, Hugh Wen-Chan from Fairfield, and 6th across the line, Hannah Truscott from Wynnum Redlands, and then 7th was Sky Todd from Mackay, so a possibility, if she's fast enough, of making the semi-final, and now being eliminated from the event, Kiara Quigley. Our next heat in the women's 16 and under K1 500, coming on to the start now, Isabella Wallace from Fairfield in lane 1. She's coached by Wen Tan. Hazel Taverner of Sydney Northern Beaches in lane 2. Mia Wall of Fairfield in lane 3. Chloe Harris from Manly Warringah in lane 4. She's coached by Taraya Mako. And Hayley Dunbar from Manly Warringah in lane 5. She's coached by Scott Dunbar. Yushin Chang from Fairfield in lane 6, Emma Jarvis from Bayswater in lane 7, and Summer Rose Partridge from Sydney Northern Beaches in lane 8.
Your great name, isn't it? Summer Rose, I like it. Hayley Dunbar for me.
Yes.
Dunbar won the K2 yesterday over Kippax and her partner, and with a new partner, brand new partner. So she's strong. She's been strong for a long time. So that's where my money's at. And a good start from a couple of the under 16 women in this K1 500. Yujin Yang, very, very strong out of the blocks from Fairfield, absolutely taking it to Dunbar, and Chloe Harris, both from Manly Warringah. But after that first 75 metres, Dunbar has taken control. Dunbar's got about half a boat length now over Yang from Fairfield. Dunbar with half a boat length, looking comfortable, but trying to accelerate. So she's putting the pressure on. She's making sure she's going to get through and maybe put a bit of a statement down. Let the other girls know that she's the #1 paddler in this under 16s, and don't try and come at her, because she's got you covered. Dunbar, looking strong over Yang from Fairfield in lane 6, and then out to Jarvis from Bayswater in lane 7. So it's Dunbar comfortably, Yang about a boat length behind, and then just on her outside, Jarvis from Bayswater. You've got to be in the top 6 if you want to make it through. Top 6 for guaranteed spot into the semi-final, and Dunbar is making a statement, looking very good, accelerating to the line, really making a go of it and really showing what sort of work she can put in. Very, very strong and very convincing win to Hayley Dunbar in this second heat. Very impressive. Bit of a blanket over the rest of the field now. So in second spot, I think it's going to be Yang. Yang has been comfortable the whole way. And then out to Jarvis in lane 7 for third. Fourth is going to go to Harris from Manly Warringah. And then out to Wall from Fairfield. Looking very good. Over in sixth spot, looking like lane 1, another Fairfield paddler. And Summer Rose, good job Summer, a new paddler this season, first nationals for her in lane 8, and then back to her teammate, another first year paddler, only been paddling about a month, so great to see her out here and doing a fantastic job to make it down the lane in her first nationals.
Yeah.
Is Hazel Taverner.
Absolutely, so congratulations to those guys. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You watch somebody like Hayley Dunbar, who's so experienced and very similar to my sport of rowing. You're looking at the core strength that she has, her posture, the way she's able to hold herself in the boat, and then you look at somebody who's new to paddling, and you just know they've got so much to come, and the fun of the journey to come.
It is all about the journey, and we're going to hear about the journey a little bit later today, 1 o'clock. Above boat shed 4, 5 and 6. Make sure you come along. Everyone's welcome, all paddlers, all parents, all coaches, anyone who's here, officials, come on down. We're going to hear from our Paris Olympians and what their journey was like, and potentially how they came from a summer rose position, first year nationals, and all the way to the Olympics, because they were a summer rose.
100%. Everybody starts not knowing anything and having no experience, so you're absolutely right. So, looking forward to that at 1 o'clock today. Back to racing and Heat 3 of the women's 16 and under K1 500, just coming on to the starting blocks now. In lane 2 we'll have Ellie Neervoort of Swan, coached by Demi O'Brien. In lane 3 we'll have Liv Manser from Avoca, who's coached by Angelika Siverbrandt. In lane 4 we'll have Maya Murphy from Fairfield, who's coached by Dewey Andayani. In lane 5, Asta Micken from Westlake, South Australia, coached by David Smith. In lane 6, Blythe Osborne of Fairfield, coached by Wen Tan. In lane 7, Heidi Smith from the Sunshine Coast stable of Charlene Kelly. And in lane 8, Abby Parsons of Sydney Northern Beaches, and there's the name I haven't seen yet today, Christine Duff, coaching the juniors there.
And I find that very hard to believe. Duffy's everywhere.
Haven't seen her name on the list so far today.
Can you believe it?
No.
I can't believe it, given that we're looking at under 16s and under 18s, but what a great job she does. Yeah.
And a good clean start there from the women's 16 and under K1 500 Heat 3. Going to be interested to see who takes this one out. I haven't quite got a read on it yet. I'll always stick with those middle lanes, and a Westlake paddler in lane 5, Asta McKinnon. Let's see what let's see what Asta Micken can do. Yeah, she looks good. She competed up in the under 18s in the K2. So it's come back to her age group in the under 16s for the K1, and is looking good, but is not getting it all her own way. Heidi Smith from Sunshine Coast out here in lane 7, challenging strongly. As they come up to this 200 metre mark, Micken just narrowly in front of Heidi Smith, and over on the far side it looks like Neervoort. So it's McKinnon, Smith and Neervoort for 1, 2, 3. Top 6 going through, so everyone's looking pretty comfortable. Going to be 1 or 2 that miss out, but at this stage it's Micken and Neervoort. Micken, Neervoort, and on this side here Smith. Maybe Smith just taking it slightly, but Neervoort's lifted the rating. She wants to win. Neervoort's gonna fight for this. She's looking very strong. Neervoort for me just taking it right now. She's got about half a boat length over Smith from Sunshine Coast, and Micken has switched off now from Westlake. She knows she's through. So it's Neervoort from lane 7, Smith, back to lane 5, Micken, then over to Manser, Murphy, and in lane 6, Blythe Osborne from Fairfield. I like what I'm seeing here. You know, another gutsy paddle from a Sydney Northern Beaches new paddler. So Abby Parsons, I hope she understands that this is her journey, and we all start somewhere. Whilst she's in the same age group as these other ladies, you know, there is something about your training age So it's very, very important to know that a lot of these paddlers have been paddling for 6 years or more, compared to, you know, a few weeks for someone like Abby. So well done, Abby. Love your work. You've kept it straight. That is an absolute credit to you. Kept it straight down the course, and you've made it in your first nationals. Great work.
And across the line she comes, new to the paddling community, Abby Parsons from Sydney Northern Beaches, rounding out Heat 3 of the women's 16 and under K1 500, where the win went to Ellie Neervoort of Swan, and she was followed across the line by Heidi Smith of Sunshine Coast and Asta Micken of West Lakes. Our fourth and final heat, just coming onto the blocks now in the women's 16 and under K1 500, has Maya Jellica from Manly Warringah in lane 2, Lila Moody of Gold Coast in lane 3, Ella Pegram of Avoca in lane 4, Emma Corrin of Cobram Barooga in lane 5, Jessie Yu from Fairfield in lane 6, Taylor Smith Miller of the Gold Coast in lane 7, and Julia Ralston from Manly Warringah in lane 8.
So another one of the Pegram twins, this time it's Ella. Identical twins, hard to tell them apart. Yeah, I could only do it by, you know, Ella was the smart one, Ash was the pretty one. That was really all I could do. But let's see how she goes in this race. You're right, Lizzie. It is a beautiful sight with the sun poking through the clouds and some paddlers screaming down the course in beautiful conditions, very still. Maybe not great conditions for super fast times, but it certainly won't be slow.
And at least they're not battling conditions, so it's encouraging, I think, to youngsters to be able to get out and not have too many distractions, because as we've already noticed, some of these contestants in our women's 16 and under K1 are very new to paddling and probably very new to racing.
Yeah, most definitely. And it looks like 6, 7 and 8 right now. But as they come across the line now, it's Pegram. Pegram looking good in lane 4. Has a nice new boat. With Emma Corrin from Cobram Barooga. Looked fantastic yesterday. Went out in a seaboat with one of our superstar seaboat paddlers, Josie Bulmer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they looked fantastic in that race at the end of the day. So good to see a C2 on the water amongst all the other K2s.
100%.
But it's Pegram. A good boat length in front now. Ella Pegram, all the way from that mid-north coast, looking very strong, rolling the arms over, running the boat through. Pegram for one, a boat length in front of Jessie Yu from Fairfield. Yu looking very strong too, coming through for second. Pegram to Yu, then back to lane 5, Emma Corrin from Cobram Barooga. And then over to Layla Moody from the Gold Coast. Lane 7's Taylor Smith Miller coming across the line. And then over to Manly Warringah's Julia Ralston. And another one from Manly Warringah over in lane 2, Maya Jellica.
So in these heats of the women's 16 and under K1 500. The first 6 have progressed through to the semi-final, and we will wait to see the judges' official timings before we know who will be joining them. But certainly the first 6 across the line in our fourth and final heat was Ella Pegram from Avoca, second Jessie Yu from Fairfield, third Emma Corrin from Cobram Baruga, fourth was Lila Moody from the Gold Coast, fifth Taylor Smith Miller from the Gold Coast, and sixth Julia Ralston from Manly Warringah. We're now moving to the men's 16 and under K2 500. Here we have heats. I just haven't checked how many, 2 of them, with the first 3 to progress right through to the final, the next 3 to go to a semi-final plus the next fastest. So the first of the 2 heats has a crew from Manly Warringah in lane 2, Charlie Wright and Harry Thornthwaite, and they're coached by David Hipsley. In lane 3 from Sydney Northern Beaches and Avoca, Brodie Frew and Finlay McLennan. In lane 4 from Swan, Alexander Small and Alistair Marsden, coached by Demi O'Brien. In lane 5, a composite of Riley Scott from Currumbin Creek and Orlando Fonseca from Bayswater, coached by Dave Smith, Chris Hurley, and I'm presuming that should be Ramon Anderson. In lane 6 from Avoca, Tor Manser and Jasper Hunter. In lane 7 from Hunter Valley, Taj Williams and Jasper Graham, coached by Adam Rowe. And in lane 8, a composite of Dane Raywood from Currumbin Creek with Hayden Lano from Wynnum Redlands.
So we're in for a treat. We've got a number of team boats now for the next few races, so K2s and K4s. But for now, it's the heat of the men's 16 and under K2 500. And a couple of very strong performers from yesterday going to take this, in my opinion. Lane 5, Scott and Fonseca. Scott and Fonseca 1 and 2 in the individuals, looking very, very strong. I think they'll get across the line easily in 1. And the top 3, I certainly think the Avoca pair of Manser and Hunter. Hunter, great paddler from Avoca. His father is exceptionally strong, so I think that he'll be following in his father's footstep. Won't be long before he's beating Dad. So Hunter and Manser, I think, will come through strongly, as well as Small and Marsden from Swan. But as they come up to this 200 metre mark, it's definitely Fonseca and Scott. Fonseca and Scott have got this one comfortably for me. Very, very nice, running it well, looking in time, but looking super strong. Super, super strong from Scott and Fonseca. On their outside, Small and Marsden from Swan, looking good. Small and Marsden in second. And in third, it's a little fight here. We've got a fight between Frew and McLennan. Frew and McLennan, the composite team, looking very good. But let's have a look. Manser and Hunter are fighting strong. It's going to come down to the wire. I think Manser and Hunter have just got it. Manser and Hunter in third, just over Frew and McLennan. And then back to the Cobras from Hunter Valley, Williams and Graham in fourth spot. On their outside, lane 8 from Wynnum Redlands, and then across to the inside from Sydney Northern Beaches, from Manly Warringah, Wright and Thornthwaite.
So only the first 3 can go through to the semi-final, to the final directly, and those 3 are the Bayswater composite of Riley Scott and Orlando Fonseca, second Alexander Small and Alistair Marsden from Swan, and third Tor Manser and Jasper Hunter from Avoca, pushing Brodie Frew and Finlay McLennan into the semi-final, so they'll have to do an extra round to get in. Bit of a surprise to them, I think, but then we are talking about years 16 and under, so the tactical awareness will come with time.
Yeah, both teams were fighting for the line. They both wanted it, and they're both good, strong paddlers. Probably experience, I'd say, of Manser and Hunter just edging the other crew out, who are big and strong.
Yeah.
They just need maybe another season under their belt.
And they're certainly going to get great experience here. That's why we're here. So we'll move on to our second and final heat of this men's 16 and under K2, racing over 500 metres. In lane 2 we have a composite of Ethan Yang from Fairfield Canoe Club with Callum Lincoln from Cobram Baruga. They're coached by Jade Kerber. In lane 3 from Manly Warringah, Zach Moffat and Dingy Zhang, coached by David Hipsley and William Mako. In lane 4, a composite of Finn Ireland from Mackay with Bo Jacob from Canning River. In lane 5, a composite of Charge Purcell from the Sunshine Coast with Asia Poland from Currumbin Creek, coached by Charlene Kelly and Julian Norton-Smith. In lane 6, from Sydney's Northern Beaches, Dean Parsons and Lachlan Matthews, coached by Christine Duff. And in lane 7, a composite of Noah Kelland from Bayswater with Connor Riches from Sunshine Coast, coached by Nathan Vartese and Charlene Kelly.
Canning River composite, great off the blocks, looking very good out of the blocks. Ireland and Jacob had a good quarter boat length on everyone, so some experience shining through there. And quarter of a boat length over Purcell and Poland. Purcell, of course, no relation to Brendan Purcell, our new high performance director, but has the name, so let's see what happens. He will surely go quite well. And from Currumbin Creek, Purcell and Poland are going to challenge lane 4, Ireland and Jacob. Ireland and Jacob, composite team from Mackay Paddlers and Canning River, both quality outfits, quality groups, so I expect them to perform quite well. But they're being challenged by the Sunshine composite over here in lane 7 of Kellen and Richies, coached within the Sunshine Coast Paddle Sports Club and Bayswater Paddle Sports. So another couple of quality outfits and nice groups to train with are going to perform very well, and it's a race in 2 for me. Ireland and Jacob in lane 4. Timing could be a little bit better. They're big and strong, but they just need to work on their team boat skills. But I don't think that's going to hold them back. They're strong enough to get through this. Looking very, very good and convincing win to Ireland and Jacob over the Sunshine Coast composite pair of Kelland and Riches. Riches and Kelland also got some work to do on their timing, coming through for second, and across there in the red boat from Currumbin Creek we have Purcell and Poland, and then across to lane 3, Moffat and Zhang, Cobram Barunga in lane 2, and then out to lane 6, Sydney Northern Beaches of Parsons and Matthews.
So just confirming then the results of the second heat. Definitely a win for Taj Purcell and Asia Poland, I think. Is that right? Yep, from Currumbin Creek and Sunshine Coast. Second was Kelland and Rich's Sunshine Coast and Bayswater. Third was Canning River Mackay Composite of Finn Island and Bo Jacob. Looked like Moffat and Zhang from Manly Warringah in fourth. Parsons and Matthews from Sydney Northern Beaches in fifth. And the Cobram Baruga composite in sixth. So first three progressing through to the final and the remainder to the semi-final. And we are going to have a change now, still staying with K2, still staying with 500. We're going to change age groups, the men's 14 and under K2s, and this is a direct final. In lane 3, a composite of Alexander Lines from Onkaparinga with Jason Ness from West Lakes, coached by Callum Dunn there in South Australia. In lane 4 from Manly Warringah, Cameron Briggs and Hugo Dooney, coached by Taraya Mako and David Hipsley. In lane 5 from Fairfield, Tyson Busink and Hugo Den, coached by Dewey Andayani and Wen Tan. In lane 6 from Currumbin Creek, Joel Moritz and Koa Brody, coached by Chris Hurley. In lane 7, a composite of Hugo Marsden from Swan and Caden Lee from Mackay, coached by Demi O'Brien and Tony Ireland. In lane 8, representing Currumbin Creek, Caden Scott and Killian Quigley, coached by Chris Hurley and Paraka Mitchell. And in lane 9, from Sydney Northern Beaches, Behdad Samandarian and Ben Applewhite, coached by Christine Duff.
Couple of big names there for you, Lizzie, so well done there. I like that. It's a direct final. Under 14 men's K2 500. Exciting, medals on the line, national championships ready to be handed out.
And 500 metres as well for the little ones, so anything could happen. I notice we don't have a big group of cyclists following them down, but I would like to compliment everybody at the course because the cycle helmets are in evidence, which is good. I know for rowers and canoeists, paddlers, it's really difficult to remember to put a helmet on.
I can't say I'm the man to be talking to about safety. I have Chinese safety boots that I use, thongs, when I do the chainsawing at home with the wood. So my wife is never happy with me on safety. It has been very interesting though to see some of the coaches with helmets on. Dave Smith and Jimmy, a couple of our experienced coaches, can't say I've ever seen them with helmets on, and maybe not the best look.
Especially when you're trying to put them over the top of your cap and sunnies. So yeah. So we've got young and quite possibly inexperienced paddlers here, so just trying to get the bows of their canoes into their kayaks, into the boot there, as we can see from the screen. Beautiful conditions though. It's so much more difficult when it's windy and choppy. It's very tidy in paddle, isn't it? In rowing boats, facing the wrong way, so, well, the right way, but yeah, and having to back off and come back on to get straight. Good practice though. And ladies and gents, we've suddenly realised what the hold-up is. The men's 14 and under K2s are going to be joined by the women's 14 and under K4s. They're going to hop in on the far lanes. We have a Mackay composite in lane 1 and a Manly Warringah composite in lane 2.
So 2 races in one. Looks like the Mackay composite for the men's 14 and under K2 had the best of the start, looking very strong in the early stages. Mackay composite with Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee looking very, very good. And over on the far side, we have the women's 14 and under K4, very even in the early stages. The Mackay composite versus the Manly Warringah composite, very, very even. They've got a Cockle Creek Cobra in the front of that boat, Ailey Rowe, Daphne Bradley, Zoe Caldwell and Pippa Smith looking very good, versing the Mackay composite of Catherine Shen, Evla Bassick, Serena Lee, Isabel Island, looking very, very good.
Gosh, they might be under 14, but there's some names there.
Yeah, some big names, and look at this, the strength
Wow.
of this Mackay composite. Super strong and super quick, and got a couple of boat lengths with 100 metres to go. Starting to tie up and shorten up just a fraction. Definitely young paddlers, got some team boat skills still to learn, but look at that strength. They want this win, and they are dominating the win. 3 or 4 boat lengths now to the Mackay composite. Loving your work, boys, looking really good. Someone's calling for a lift. The Mackay composite looking super strong down the middle of the lane. Lane 7, Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee going to take out the national championships for the men's 14 and under K2. Great work, lads. And then over on the far side,
Also a Mackay composite.
yeah, another Mackay composite, fantastic work, also dominating the K4, and another national championships for the under 14 K4. Second spot looks like it was lane 6 in from Currumbin Creek, Joel Moritz and Koa Brody.
Then 4.
And then lane 4, Cameron Briggs and Hugo Doody from Manly Warringah taking the bronze medal. Well done, lads. Very, very good racing. And just about to come over the line for the silver medal in the women's 14 and under K4 is the Manly Warringah composite of Rowe, Bradley, Caldwell and Smith.
Whew, a lot happening there, but certainly in the men's 14 and under K2 500 final, it was a win for the Mackay composite of Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee. Second, Joel Moritz and Koa Brody, and third, Manly Warringah's Cameron Briggs and Hugo Dooney. And in the women's 14 and under K4 500, a win for the Mackay composite of Catherine Shen, Evla Bassack, Serena Lee and Isabel Ireland, and second, the Manly Warringah composite of Ailey Rowe, Daphne Bradley, Zoe Caldwell and Pippa Smith.
Great young paddlers. Future is looking good with young ladies and young men like that. Very, very impressive. Yes, we have some exciting paddlers here. We have a Paralympian rocking up for this race. Yeah, we do. Dylan Littlehales, bronze medalist from Paris. Been at a few Olympics now and has broken through for his first Olympic medal or Paralympic medal. Was very impressive.
Yes.
Long overdue, I would say.
I would say so too. He'd been performing at that level for a good couple of years, hadn't he? And just never quite cracked it on the day.
Didn't quite get there. Didn't have the luck going his way, but
we all knew he'd do it.
Yeah.
We all knew he was capable of it. It was very exciting to watch.
It is exciting, and it's a multi-class race, so we need to understand that there are different classes out there racing. So Dylan may dominate this race, but he's against different classes, so you can't compare each other. They're racing for times and they're racing for a seeding to see where they're going to sit in the final.
Right. So in lane 2, we've got Griffin Angelatos from Bayswater. In lane 3, parapaddler Mark Daniels from Hurricane Paddling. In lane 4, Joseph Giannatti from Bayswater. In lane 5, Dylan Littlehales from Avoca. In lane 7, Cameron Goodrich from Varsity Lakes. And in lane 8, Ben Sainsbury from Champion Lakes.
Hasn't done a lot of work in the last little while, Dylan, since Paris, but it's not showing. He's looking quite good. I'll be interested in his time to see what that comes through at. But looking very good, and the same old Dylan working all the way to the end. Nice and strong. Giannatti on his outside from Bayswater, coming through in third spot again from Bayswater. Angelatos with lane 7 from Varsity Lakes, Cameron Goodwich, and lane 8, Ben Sainsbury from Champion Lakes.
So that was the 200 metre race in the K1. Our next Paracanoe race is the women's K1, again racing over 200 metres, and again an open multi-class event and a seeding for the final. So racing for lanes in the final. In lane 2 we'll see Kirsty Maiden from West Lakes, and in lane 4 Emily Pay from West Lakes. In lane 5, Amy Ralph from Bayswater, and in lane 6, Kaya Skoll from Queensland.
So they're halfway down the course now in the women's K1 200 metre open multi-class. It's a seeding race, and they've got the three ladies here pushing very strongly against each other. We have Kaya Scholl just being narrowly headed by Amy Ralph from Bayswater, and then across to Emily Pye from West Lakes. So it's Ralph, then Pye, and then Scholl, 1, 2 and 3. And then across on their left-hand side, in lane 2, Kirsty Maiden from West Lakes.
Awesome to see the strength and depth here now of our Paracanoe. So that was the Paracanoe Women's K1, 200 metres. A lovely win there for Amy Ralph over Emily Pye and Kaya Scholl, and that we will see them a little bit later in the final. Race number 100 on our programme already. difficult to believe we're into day 2. Beautiful conditions now, the rain is clearing away and we still have very little wind at all, lovely flat water and great competition. And we are about to see C1s. So canoes with one person, women's 18 and under, racing over 200 metres in a direct final. Both of these paddlers are from West Lakes. Ellie Kernahan in lane 2 and Emily McMullen in lane 3. Ellie is coached by Luke Hannaford and Emily is coached by Reese Backus. And I swear I remember Ellie Kernahan going out for her first time with, would it have been Josie Bulmer? Yeah. And in the same race there will be the Women's Open C1. Also over 200 metres, so in lane 5, Jen Stanley from Bayswater, in lane 6, Penelope Strickland from Avoca, in lane 7, Josie Bulmer from West Lakes, in lane 8, Eva Bruce from West Lakes, and in lane 9, Caitlin Bowell from Queensland.
Great to see the depth in this race. What do we have? 5 in the Open Women's C1. Very, very good. Great to see this amount of paddlers and also the under 18s in the same race, racing separately but in the same race. And boy oh boy, Emily McCullen looking fantastic. She may take out this race over our champion Josie Bulmer. So very impressive, the under 18. It's going to come down to the line. The experience of Bulmer takes it out. The under 18 over there from McCullen. And on the outside here in lane 8, Eva Bruce. It looks like she's going to take it for West Lakes in the Open Women. Great little direct final there. Very, very impressive. So Bulmer in the Open Women's over Eva Bruce. And then I think it was Penelope Strickland. So Bulmer, Bruce, then Strickland. But boy, oh boy, I'm glad they raced the 18s and the Opens together. McCullen looked very, very strong. Yeah. And it was just the experience of Bulmer that got her across the line.
That's right, but you're absolutely right, how good, and that should give those under 18s some real confidence in the C1 here, racing over 200 metres. And we now have a men's final in the 16 and under C1. We have Ryan Ness from West Lakes. He'll be in lane 7. And in the Open C1 200, we have Max Ganzuk, coached by Rhys Bacchus, also from West Lakes. And he's going to be in lane 3.
So Max has only been in Australia for a couple of years now.
This is the Ukrainian refugee?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Look, I've got my note from when somebody first told me about him, that his auntie, Natalie, lived here in Australia, and so he'd come over from the Ukraine and been invited. Oh, he's paddled over there, hadn't he? And
Yes,
then
he was a good
to
paddler over there, and, but has developed very nicely. He was always going to be a good paddler.
Yeah.
You could see he was a good paddler, but has put his head down and would have had many challenges, of course. You know, coming to a new country, always tough. But
I think started here in Penrith, I'm pretty sure, and then settled in West Lakes because of the paddling.
yeah,
Pretty
not sure about the detail.
Seem to remember.
Yeah. But he certainly
Wonderful
has
story.
been great story and performing exceptionally well.
Yeah.
You know, international stage will be interesting for him to see how he goes. You know, in the coming years, and whether he gets there and makes his mark.
Yeah.
But he's got a teammate there in Ryan Ness. So Ness is certainly younger and less experienced, but he's having a real go, still learning the craft, but looking forward to seeing how he races.
Excellent.
And the boys have had a false start. Not sure who that was. Very difficult, though, of course, to start in these sea boats. So potentially something has happened there. We'll let them reset and get ready for the race. He is indeed. So over in lane 3, Max from Westlakes, the Open C1 200, looking super strong, showing a clean set of heels, and the experience really is what's shining out. He's looking for a time, of course. This is a direct final. National medal up for grabs, a national title up for grabs. He wants to have a great time. So looking good, working hard, coming down to the line. He's going to run straight through the line, lifting the rating to finish it off, and lunges. Very, very nice work. And boy, oh boy, the second paddle I've seen of Ryan, he is looking super strong as well, and certainly putting some more power down than what I've seen previously. So he's learning from his experience, Ryan. Great work in the under 16 C1 men's 200 metre final.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will have our first medal presentation of the day. We will be presenting the medals for the men's 16 and under C1 200 event. Our presenter is David Rhodes, General Manager Performance, Sprint and Para for Paddle Australia. And our gold medalist representing West Lakes is Ryan Ness. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate Ryan Ness, our national champion in the men's 16 and under C1 200. Our next presentation is for the men's Open C1 200. Again, the medal will be presented by David Rhodes, General Manager Performance, Sprint and Para for Paddle Australia. Our national champion for 2025, representing West Lakes, Max Ganzuk. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of medals for the women's 18 and under C1 200. And again, medals will be presented by David Rhodes from Paddle Australia, the General Manager of Performance in Sprint and Para Canoe. In the women's 18 and under C1 200. Second and silver medalist representing West Lakes, Ellie Kernahan. Gold medalist and national champion for 2025, also representing West Lakes, Emily McMullen. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our medalists in the women's 18 and under C1 200. And ladies and gentlemen, the presentation now for the 2025 medalists and champion in the Women's Open C1 200. Third place and bronze medalist representing Avoca, Penelope Strickland. Second place and silver medalist representing Westlakes, Eva Bruce. Gold medalist and national champion for 2025 in the Women's Open C1 200, Josie Bulmer, representing Westlakes. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate all our medalists in the Women's Open C1 200.